Some of you spent years with this person, not months, years, 2, 3, 4, and for some of you, longer. Long enough that they stopped feeling like a chapter of your life and started feeling like the shape of it. And the whole time you had this hustle energy around you. You were working, you were building, you were caring more than most people around you realized. Some of you were doing it while raising kids, some while helping family, some while quietly running out of steam every night. And you still made time for them. You still showed up. You were the one who rearranged your schedule. Meanwhile, they never rearranged theirs the same way for you. I keep seeing a face, softer features than sharp. Something specific about the eyes. They get a little smaller when they smile. There is a stillness in how this person carries themselves. From the outside, they seem controlled, almost calm, but that stillness was not peace. It was distance. And here is something the cards are pulling forward that most readers will not touch. You did not become the person who carries everyone by accident. You have been doing that since childhood. Some of you learned to read the mood of a room before you could fully speak. You watched a parent or an older sibling or a household that needed you to be the steady one. You learned early that love came when you made yourself useful. That is where the loyalty in you came from, not from weakness, from training. Now the other side, because the cards are also showing me their childhood. And this matters. They came from a house where apology was weakness, where image mattered more than truth, where someone in their bloodline, a parent, most likely a father figure or the dominant one, carried the same coldness they carry now. This person did not invent that pride. They inherited it. That is not an excuse. That is a diagnosis. So already, from the beginning, you two were built differently. You were built to give. They were built to receive without acknowledging. And that is why the connection felt so deep on your side and so uneven from theirs. You had a screenshot somewhere, or a memory of a message, where they said one sentence that sounded like commitment, and you held on to that sentence for months, because it was the closest you ever got to being chosen. That sentence was never a promise, but you kept it anyway, because hope was cheaper than accepting the truth. Now let me tell you something they will never say out loud. There were people in their circle who disrespected you, and they let it happen. A friend of theirs, a cousin, someone at their work, someone connected through family, someone close enough to make comments they should not have made. And a lot of those comments were about how you look. You know exactly what I mean. The little jabs about your body, your face, your style, something you were already a little sensitive about, delivered as a joke, in a group, sometimes right in front of your person, and your person did not defend you. They laughed, or they went quiet, or they said, "They are just like that, do not take it personally." You took it personally, because it was personal. The cards are showing me one of these people specifically. Sharper features than your person, louder energy. The kind of person who talks more when they feel threatened. For some of you, this person had a thing for the one you were with, or wanted the position in their life you were slowly building. Every comment about your looks was strategy, making you smaller so they could look bigger. Your person saw the strategy. They saw it happen more than once, and they still did not shut it down. That is one of the deepest wounds in this whole story. Not what your person did directly, what they allowed other people to do while they stood there. They know this now. That memory is one of the ones playing on repeat in their head tonight. Some of them have already tried to justify it to themselves. It does not work. The justification does not survive the silence. Then the story turns. You saw something coming, long before it hit them. There was a person in their life you did not trust, a business partner, a friend, a new opportunity, a new connection they were letting close, someone whose energy did not sit right with you from the first time you met them. You told your person, you did not make it a big fight, you said it once, maybe twice, softly, because you already knew that if you said it more than twice, they would call you controlling. So you said what you saw and you stepped back. They dismissed you, not harshly, softly, like your read on people was cute but not real information. Some of them even joked about it with the person you were warning them about, turning your concern into a story that made you look paranoid and made them look reasonable. The cards are showing me this person you warned them about came into their life from a specific direction. For many of you, it was through work or through someone connected to work. For some of you, it came from a geographical direction, someone from the south or the east of where they were living, or someone who traveled in from further away. The exact detail is not important. What matters is that this person did not come randomly. Something invited them in, and your gut knew it. And here is where it gets interesting. This person you warned them about had something to do with their money. Not always directly. Sometimes it was influence, pushing your person toward a decision, an investment, a spending pattern that quietly started leaking their financial ground long before the fall arrived. You could feel it. You could not prove it, but you knew. Then it happened, exactly the way you saw it coming. For some of you, it was money, a financial hit, an investment that went sideways, a number they had put weight on that collapsed under them. For some of you, it was legal. Papers arriving, the situation they thought would blow over that suddenly required a lawyer, a court date, consequences that could not be smoothed over with charm. For some of you, it was a family situation, a betrayal from someone they had defended for years while ignoring you when you tried to point out the pattern. For some of you, it was work or reputation, something professional they thought was secure that broke publicly enough that they could not hide it. Whatever the shape, it landed exactly where you warned them it would. The cards are also showing me this happened during a heavy stretch in their life, likely somewhere between their late 20s and mid-30s for many of you, or during a season when several other things were shifting for them at once, a change in their family, a change in their work, a shift in who they were becoming. This fall did not land into a stable life. It landed into a life that was already quietly unraveling. And when it hit, they knew. In the first quiet moment after the news, alone with themselves, they thought of you. They thought of the exact conversation where you had told them, and they knew you had seen it before they had. You did not have to say, "I told you so." You never did. Your silence was the loudest sentence in the room, and they heard it. Now here is where you did something almost nobody would have done. You did not walk away. The connection had never been made official. You had every right to close the door, to let them handle their fall alone. But you did not. You showed up. You made phone calls for them. You made food. You showed up at their door with something in your hands. You sat with them in the parts of it that were embarrassing, the parts they could not show anyone else, the ugly moments in the middle of the night when the reality finally hit them. You put your own life on hold, your own hustle, your own responsibilities, your own healing. You spent money you did not really have, or you gave time you did not really have. Your body still remembers that stretch. You may have aged during it. You may have gained weight or lost it in a way you cannot fully explain. Your sleep pattern from that period is still not fully repaired. And the whole time, a quiet part of you was hoping. Not out loud, not admitted, but underneath everything, you were hoping this was the moment. That going through this with them would finally show them who you were. Finally get them to say the word. Finally make it official. You were not doing it for the reward, but you were quietly waiting for one. You are allowed to admit that now. It was human. The cards are showing me something older here too. There is a pattern between you two that did not start in this lifetime. You have carried them before. In some earlier chapter, however you understand that, you were the one who showed up then too. That is why the loyalty ran so deep for you. Your soul remembered the position. But your soul is now being asked to break the loop, not repeat it again in the next life. This is the last time you carry this weight for this connection. And then the turn no one saw coming. While they were still in the middle of the fall, while you were still there, still supporting, they turned on you. It started small. A comment about your mood, a comment about your energy that day, a comment about how you were making things harder for them without meaning to. Then it got bigger. You were bringing negative energy. You were adding stress. You were reminding them of the mistake by existing near it. You were the reason it was so hard for them to move forward. You sat with those words in your car after leaving their place, or in your bathroom with the door closed, or in bed at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out how you became the villain in a story where you were the only real support. The math did not add up, because it was not math, it was self-protection. They needed someone to be the reason for the pain, and they could not survive making themselves the reason. So they picked you. That is when you started to leave. Not physically, emotionally. The version of you that was all in went quiet, and they felt it. They felt you pull back, and they did not fix it, because their pride was louder than their love. That same pride they inherited, the one that runs through their bloodline. It won that fight for them, and it is losing every fight for them now. Now, present day, the story catches up. They know you were right about that person you warned them about. They know you were the only one who showed up. They know they blamed you to protect their ego. They know they never made it official when they had every chance. They know they let other people disrespect you while they stood there. That is a lot of knowing to carry at once, and their body is starting to reflect it. They are not sleeping right. The cards are showing me someone lying awake late at night, holding their phone but not sending anything. They are drinking more, or spending more, or scrolling more. Whatever their coping habit is, the dial is turned up. Because when they sit alone with themselves, they cannot get away from the memory of your face. They cannot look at photos of you. Certain songs shut down for them. There is a place you used to go together they now avoid. They take a different route just to skip it. There is a smell that catches them mid-motion, a food, a cologne, a detergent. It stops them for a second, and they have to reset before they can keep moving. They have opened their phone at night and hovered over your name in their contacts. Not clicked, just hovered. Sometimes for a long time. They have written a message to you and not sent it. It is still sitting in their notes app or their phone drafts. They rewrite it every few days. It never gets sent. Because no version of it feels honest enough to survive your reading it. They asked a mutual person about you recently. They tried to make it sound casual. The mutual person saw through it. And they walked away from that conversation embarrassed. And they are having dreams about you. Not romantic ones. Ones where you appear silently. Ones where they wake up disoriented and cannot go back to sleep for an hour. The night colors around them are dark blue and heavy. Their sleep is not clean. This is what unresolved guilt looks like when a person will not name it out loud. Now let me tell you something the cards want you to hear clearly. This connection was never going to work the way you hoped, and not because of anything you did wrong. Your soul and their soul were not on the same timeline. You were rising. They were stuck in a loop. Not stuck by accident, stuck by the karma they had not finished. Some souls are meant to grow together. When they walk together, both rise faster than they would alone. Other souls clash. Their timelines do not match. One is ascending, one is stuck. When the ascending one binds themselves to the stuck one, the ascending one carries the stuck one and slows down. The stuck one leans and stays comfortable. Nobody grows. You were the first kind of soul, rising. They were the second, stuck. That is why nothing worked the way it should have. You are not going to hear this in a normal reading, but I want to say it clearly for you today. This person was not just a person who hurt you. They were a form of interference in your life. Their presence pressed down on the parts of you that were trying to lift. That is not personal blame. That is a fate mismatch. And when two fates do not match, No amount of love from either side can fix it. Because it is not a love problem, it is a timing problem. They are feeling the guilt now because on some level, their soul knows what they did. Not just the betrayal, the pulling down. Their presence in your life kept you smaller than you were meant to be. And now that you have stepped away, they can feel the space you took with you. Let me tell you the specific areas of your life this connection was blocking. Your money. During the years you were tied to them, small financial things kept going wrong for you. A payment that should have arrived late. An opportunity that should have gone through fell apart at the last step. A number that should have added up did not. You were working harder than the results were showing. You told yourself it was you. It was not. You were carrying interference. Your health. During that stretch, your body did something it could not fully explain. Sleep quality dropped. A specific area of your body kept flaring up. For some of you, the lower back, for some, the stomach, for some, the throat, for some, tension in the head. You went and got checked. Nothing showed clearly. That was your body reacting to a connection that was quietly draining you at a level medicine does not measure. Your luck. Small things kept not going your way. Not big disasters, constant small friction, traffic, missed calls, timing that never worked, a pattern of almosts. You started to wonder if you were the problem. You were not. You were in a field of interference. Their stuck karma was pressing on your everyday movement. Your growth. Every time you tried to change something during that period, it got weighed down. You wanted to move somewhere, could not move. You wanted to leave a job, could not leave. You wanted to start something, could not start. Every attempt at change got heavier than it should have been. That was not laziness. That was not fear. That was their weight on your fate. Now watch what has been quietly happening since you stepped back. The friction is softening. Small things are moving. A payment that was delayed comes through. A conversation opens a door you had been trying to open for a year. Your body is settling into a rhythm again. Sleep is coming back. The area that kept flaring is quieter. You are laughing more without noticing you are laughing. You had not connected these shifts to their exit yet. That is why this reading came to you, to make the connection. Something you have been trying to move forward on for a long time. A project, a decision, an income line, a piece of your life you were building is unlocking in the next several weeks. Not because you changed anything, because your energy stopped bleeding into their situation. That is all it took. For some of you, money is arriving from an unexpected direction. Not a huge amount at first, but enough to signal that the flow is opening. Others are receiving news or approval on something that was pending. Take what resonates. You are becoming the version of yourself this connection was blocking. The face is changing, softer around the eyes. Something in the shoulders is dropping. People around you are noticing. They may not say it out loud, but they are noticing. Let me give you the predictions. They will check your profile. If they have not already this week, they will within the next stretch of days. Some of them will do it from an account you cannot see. They are already watching more than you know. They will write a message and not send it. Or they will send something soft and indirect first. A memory, a shared reference, a comment on something they saw. Not a full apology, because a full apology would require admitting all of it at once, and they are not brave enough for that yet. For some of you, contact comes through a mutual person first. Someone will drop a mention. Test the waters. Bring your name into a conversation just to see how you respond. A third party in their life is going to be exposed, not by you, on their own. This exposure will be public enough that it reaches back to you through a mutual or through social media or through the person you originally warned them about resurfacing in a way that confirms everything you saw. News of their karma will find its way to you. You will not have to look for it. You will hear it in passing. And you will feel almost nothing when you do. That flatness is your soul confirming that you have already released this. Here is the part that decides how this ends for you. Missing you is not enough. If they come back with only guilt, only softness, only I miss you energy, that is not accountability. Guilt says I feel bad. Accountability says I understand what I did, I name it, I take responsibility for it, and I will not do it again. Missing you is not a plan. Missing you is a feeling. Feelings pass. Patterns do not. So when they reach out, and some of them will, do not rush to answer. Do not explain yourself again. Do not reopen the old file to prove your pain. Do not chase. Do not perform being unbothered either. Just pause. Before you reply, place a hand on your chest. Ask yourself one question. Is this accountability, or are they only missing my energy? If it is accountability, they will name what they did, specifically, without you having to draw it out of them. If it is only missing you, they will speak in vague sentences designed to feel warm without saying anything real. Trust the difference. Your body will know. And for the next stretch of weeks, one small water practice. When you shower, let the water fall on your feet for a moment longer than usual. Imagine the memories that still catch you off guard washing off your body and going down the drain. Not the lesson. The lesson stays. The weight leaves. You will feel it release faster than you expect. Let me close. This person underestimated you. They thought your softness meant you would take anything. They thought your loyalty meant you would wait forever. They thought your patience meant they had time. They were wrong, and their body knows it now. Their sleep knows it. Their guilt knows it. The quiet in their house knows it. You are not their prosecutor anymore. You do not have to make them feel their consequences. Life is doing that for you. Your only work now is to keep rising into the version of yourself their presence was blocking. That version is arriving, slowly, steadily. Every week you stay in your own lane, they arrive a little more clearly. If this reading found the exact place you were sitting in, if you felt seen anywhere in this, leave the word seen in the comments. That is your signature on the closing of this chapter. Take care of yourself this week. Sleep. Eat something warm. Notice the weight that is no longer on your chest, and trust that what has already started shifting for you is real. I will see you in the next one.